Alright, let's begin. Ayahuasca was insane. I'm filming this in Japan, about 2 weeks after my session. When I rewatched the footage, it blew my mind again. That third session was just incredible, watching it now. I can recall how it felt back then. But a lot of crazy things happened during the video. And I never explained everything. Plus, at that time, the world felt so perfect. I stopped caring about filming. But now I'm back in Japan and want to explain it properly. So I'm re-recording. Ready to share everything. This is kind of an emergency video. Yeah, that third session, amazing. It wrapped up every loose thread. Like everything finally connected. All my life experiences, sure. But also all souls, all existence. The entire universe. Even beyond what we know. I felt totally linked with something. Bigger than this universe. It was like, oh, I get it. That realization was so intense. I was in constant awe. Not sure what to do. But filled with massive insight and joy. What really blew me away was that everything. Pains, small stuff, random things. All connected. Creating this giant realization. It felt like the universe's real design. Some God-level moment. Looking back, I see I'm sort of awakened. Picking up hints from silly jokes or puns. Which might sound strange. So I'm redoing some parts. Anyway, life can be super painful, right? Some people have been struggling. For months or years. But it's okay. All that suffering eventually ties together. Into a massive discovery. Even if you feel you've never been rewarded. I think at the moment of death. You can reach total happiness and awareness. Science says. The brain releases tons of chemicals. That make you feel amazing. So yeah, everything is perfect in the end. That's what I wanted to say. Right after my second ayahuasca session. I wanted to die. It was day 2 of the retreat. By day 3, I was telling friends in Japan. I'm going to die. I already wrote a will. Planning how I'd do it. On the 4th day, the third ayahuasca session arrived. I drank more than ever, about 2.25 times day 1. At first, I stayed pretty aware, because I planned to slip away alone. But the ceremony staff said, focus your intention first. So I did. Then the feeling hit me hard. I was thinking, I don't care where I die. I'll just dive into the depths. Fear of death rose, but to transcend life/death. I had to leave my human consciousness. First, I merged with the Creator. That worked last time too, but not enough. So I went higher, to the God of the Creators. Like the Supreme Deity. I guess you'd say Zeus. Or Dainichi Nyorai in Buddhism. Anyway, it succeeded big time. Complete oneness. Or maybe zeroness, pure light. In that moment, time froze. And my entire life flashed by. I realized, this is the real me. Before, any enlightenment I had still involved me as the main persona. But now, that was just a puppet. The true core was this Supreme God. So it was mind-blowing. It meant I'm everything. I can be anything. And everything is me, literally. Then I thought, so what's the real me? And eventually felt my old self had died. Everything became pure light. Moving around at high speed. It's impossible to describe. But I stayed as a cat for a while. In the ceremony room, I turned into a cat. Licking the floor, meowing, grooming myself. It was weird, but so fun. I could switch from cat to human to God. It was the best, a true happy trip. Around me, others drank a lot too. It was our final session, so many big reactions. People vomited, screamed full volume. Compared to sessions 1 and 2. This was a crazy, chaotic ceremony. I felt like a shaman, meowing it's enough. Everything's okay, comforting people. Crying, sending healing vibes. At one point, I fist bumped a French guy. Like nya. It was unbelievably awesome. Ultra super happy. During the session, I smoked a lot of tobacco. To stay conscious until death. Which ironically grounded me. Normally, the shaman uses it for protection. But some participants smoke it themselves. It felt like a sauna after feeling. It was actually nice. When I was a cat, I didn't want to smoke though. Anyway, the trip was epic. Even after it wore off a bit. I stayed in that peak state a long time. Hugging buddies near the ceremony room. Everyone was exhausted. So we comforted each other. I felt like I'm God, they're all me. If someone's suffering, it's also me. So I gotta help. I tried Reiki-like healing, and it worked. Reminding me that anything is possible. Who knows, in 100 years. Science may explain all this. Time flew. I started filming around 2 or 3 a.m. But then random stuff happened. Like dog Sam nearly freezing in the rain. We had to rescue him. So I didn't explain the experience fully right then. Next day, I still felt amazing. But was too carefree to film properly. Then we climbed Rainbow Mountain 5000m. So I had no time to recap. That was also fantastic. Maybe I'll show it in a future video. It was such a great trip. I want to clarify, I never really had a bad trip. But you can still die. I accept death as something that comes to those who need it. But many of you fear death, I'm sure. So be careful. It's not guaranteed happiness. Some people get depressed. I also have mood swings. Right now I'm more on a high. Sometimes I dip into low. But I use brain science or psychology to bounce back and keep working. 10 hours a day. That's the first point. It's intense, be cautious. Second point, everything turns out fine. It's like a perfect VR game. We are really God, so nothing can truly hurt us. Like an author and story. Characters can die, but the author remains safe. So if your life feels terrible, it can still flip around. You might think there's no hope. But there's always a twist eventually. If life is tough, don't quit yet. A big reward might come at the end. Some say it's like collecting stamps. Once you get the final one, huge payoff. If that was obvious from the start, it'd be boring. But that's how the game is designed. So the future is unknown. Totally dark sometimes, and that's fine. Because the universe is perfect. I always felt it was perfect. But now I see it's perfect times infinity. Words can't explain. Please experience it yourself. One direct experience can exceed gigabytes of words or video. I've read maybe 50 spiritual books. But real experience was bigger. You don't need ayahuasca, though. Breathing, meditation, it's within us. Even without limbs, you can still reach it. Breath is just a handy tool. You can also shift your mindset alone. Try small things, maybe ditch your smartphone. We're too deep in digital worlds. Which is just a virtual. Social media shows highlights, making us compare ourselves pointlessly. It's so unreal, so maybe start by throwing away your phone if you're suffering. I'm tempted to go back to a flip phone. Smartphones are too addictive. It's like a drug. We might not really need them. Or skip meals, skip sleep. Doctors call that a problem. But some Buddhist masters do 7 days. With no food, no water, no sleep. So it's not always a disease. Just check with a trustworthy specialist, sure. But don't be bound by normal rules. It's okay to break down. I broke down, and that's why I'm here. If I hadn't, I'd never explore spirituality. But I did, and found a new path. So if you're struggling, congrats. You might have a fast pass to happiness. Some folks basically don't eat. Breatharians, it's real if you look it up. The world is huge and perfect. Though it sounds crazy if you're in pain. But maybe we want to suffer. If we had superpowers, we couldn't suffer deeply. We limit ourselves so we can feel it. It's like an extreme puzzle game. We forget we're God to make it exciting. So enjoy your fear or despair. It's all part of the game. I'll keep despairing at times, too. Back in Japan, I'm shocked how relationships or work can be messy, compressed into a short chaos. But I remember it's all stamps. Once I hit 100, I get the big gift. Meanwhile, small joys help me survive. Like just drinking corn soup. Or watching silly comedy. I can forget my stress. So I face my suffering fully. And it becomes part of enjoying life. That's what the third ayahuasca taught me. I ended up drinking over 1 cup total. Maybe 1.5 cups. Originally, I feared throwing up. But then realized it's okay. If your body wants to vomit, do it. Drink more if needed, no big deal. This session started that way. And the world flipped on me. It's like One Piece. A huge plot twist is coming, right? I realized real life felt like a spiritual training. And the ayahuasca realm was the actual real world. So my entire 26 years is a spiritual experience, while the ceremony is the true reality. But both are real in different ways. It's confusing, I know. But it made me see I'm basically God's puppet body. Made of everything I've ever eaten or drunk. So it's a perfect original body. But the real side is over there. So in this game side, we can do anything. We become the game creator. Designing our program. Hence, turning into a cat, talking to Buddha, etc. Everyone has this ability. Many people around the world describe it. Sure, sometimes I think, am I just schizophrenic? Then I feel depressed. But so many share these feelings. So it's probably universal. Thus, do what you truly want. Going to Peru wasn't logical for me. I had debts and work. But I asked, what if I die tomorrow? The answer was ayahuasca. So I went for it, and it was amazing. Stop overthinking. We Japanese are taught super advanced logical thinking. But that can block deeper happiness. Yes, rational thought can help you survive. But once you have basic stability, you don't really need it anymore. I was homeless for 2 years, actually. You can survive with almost nothing. Focus on your emotions first. What do you feel? Fear, loneliness? Indulge in that. Or if you have a favorite idol, lose yourself in that joy. Then let go of emotions too. Because they're temporary illusions. As a baby, you didn't have today's despair. So ask, what do I truly want right now? Follow your raw desire. If you want sex, do it. If you're hungry, eat a lot. Cats don't overthink. They just live happily. I say do what you want. We get confused by too much thinking. Maybe go into the mountains or by the sea. And just ponder with nature. Or talk to a stranger, less pressure. Than talking to people who know you.
Heck, talk to an AI if it's easier. We built one for that reason. The modern world is full of negativity. So it's like the best horror game. Everything is at stake. Which leads to the ultimate relief if we survive. We co-created it, maybe forgot. But if you want to change it, free your mind, be God again. Until then, do what you can.
It's okay to run away from real life if it's crushing you. And yes, skipping taxes or disappearing might cause trouble. But it's often less awful than we fear. Men especially might consider suicide. But there's always a way.
God is inside you. It took me 4 years to fully see it. But it can happen in 1 second. If you truly believe. Just close your eyes and block your ears. No external input. Monks do that and rank as the happiest on earth. According to studies. We all want happiness, right?
We chase money or family. But if we can connect to God by meditation, we're just as happy or more. Research shows meditation can release twice the dopamine of sex. It's super pleasant. So I'd say meditation is the strongest tool. We don't really need anything else. Maybe not even perfect health.
If meditation is hard, there's a deeper approach. Like controlling awareness in new ways. Buddha endured extreme physical pain. Yet kept meditating. So ignore mainstream logic. Japanese society has too many rules. Everyone's viewpoint might be valid for them. But if it hurts you, you can walk away. No need to die and reset. We can find happiness in this life. During the 3rd session, I felt so blissful. We took care of dog Sam. And then also another dog. And it was all amazing. The world is too perfect for words. I used to wish everyone awakened sooner. But some people choose to suffer. And that's fine too.
I love Japan, but from a bigger view. Everything is happening as it should. Trust the universe. Float like water. If you stop, be a pond. If there's a rapid, ride it. If there's a branch, accept it. Don't fight, just follow nature's flow. We might separate or come back together. And that's fine.
Trust your gut. What's that feeling? That's how electricity was discovered. You sense something weird, test it. Find something huge. Maybe that's the universe's clue to you. On the day of my final ayahuasca, I wanted to say all this. So here it is, in simpler words. I'll keep sharing in different styles. Maybe with my company's services. Now I'm somewhat back in my human persona, but I'll keep at it.
Most of all, your life matters. Be selfish in a good way, fill yourself first. Happiness spreads, if you're happy. People around you can feel it.
If you're miserable, that spreads too.
So start by making yourself content. It's your life, after all. Then we can move forward together. Anyway, if you're going to watch more ayahuasca clips, enjoy them. See you later.